They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce,
Well, not you, man.
but they can't control me.
No,
You see, it
you.
ain't no
I
name.
think
I
that
want
Beyonce and Jay-Z are discussing taking legal action against Kanye West following his comments about their children on social media.
What happens when a snowman throws a tantrum? He has a meltdown.
Just for him to weaponize ableism, Down syndrome specifically, to children, not only children of his former colleagues.
What is Sir interested in?
Sir is very quiet and is very, very smart and does all of the number stuff. So he's
that never killed nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want and not go to jail.
Nobody expected Beyoncé to clap back. She's always played it cool, never letting drama drag her name. But when Kanye West went after her children, especially her son Sir, everything changed. No more silence, no more grace. According to insiders, Beyoncé is finally ready to respond. And what she's about to do might end Kanye's career for good. For months, Kanye's been spiraling online, turning social media into his personal war zone, rant after rant, tweet after tweet, digging into old feuds, inventing new ones, and dragging people who used to call him family. But this time, he crossed a line even his biggest fans can't defend. He didn't just come for Beyoncé, he came for her children. What exactly did he say? We'll get to that. But what matters most is why this time is different. Because Kanye didn't just insult a fellow celebrity. He disrespected a mother who went through hell just to bring her children into this world. And now, people close to Beyoncé say she's done turning the other cheek. Let's rewind for a second. There was a time when Beyoncé, Jay-Z, and Kanye were considered unshakable. Their bond looked real, on stage, in public, behind the scenes. They weren't just collaborators, they were a chosen family. But over time, something shifted. Not all at once, slowly, quietly, until that connection completely shattered. Some blamed it on Kanye's marriage to Kim Kardashian. Others thought it was fame or jealousy. But people close to the situation say the truth is simpler. Kanye kept turning private moments into public messes. He started airing out his relationships like dirty laundry. And Beyoncé and Jay-Z weren't about to let that energy poison their world. In 2016, Kanye stood on stage at his concert and threw Beyoncé under the bus. He accused her of rigging an award show, claiming she wouldn't perform unless she was guaranteed the win. It wasn't subtle, it was a direct hit, and the audience, silent. Nobody knew what to make of it. Then came the shot at Jay-Z. After Kim's terrifying robbery in Paris, Kanye called Jay-Z out for not checking in. Not in a private call, not in a text. He did it in public, during a show. On stage. That wasn't just a cry for help. It was betrayal, broadcasted to the world. Still, Beyoncé said nothing. Jay-Z said nothing. No tweets, no press statements, no diss tracks. They just moved away from the chaos, quietly. But Kanye couldn't let it go. In 2022, he ramped things up. This time, his target wasn't just his former friends. It was the industry itself. He claimed certain celebrities, including Beyoncé and Jay-Z, were controlled, roped into shadowy Hollywood schemes. He named, dropped, he accused. He made connections to tragedies that had people side-eyeing their screens in disbelief. But even then, Beyoncé stayed silent. So what changed? Why now? Because this time, Kanye went after their children, specifically the twins. In a tweet that was deleted not because he regretted it, but because he didn't want to get suspended, Kanye questioned why no one had seen Jay-Z and Beyoncé's younger kids. He made comments about artificial insemination and dropped loaded implications about their health and legitimacy. And he did it all knowing how fiercely Beyoncé protects her children. He later tweeted that the only reason he took the post down was to avoid getting banned. No apology, no remorse, just a clear message. He meant what he said. That's when everything shifted. Beyoncé doesn't respond to drama. But this wasn't drama. This was personal. This was cruel. And most importantly, this was intentional. Because here's what most people don't realize. Beyoncé nearly died giving birth to those children. In a rare, vulnerable interview with Vogue, she opened up about her pregnancy. She had a serious condition that put her life and the baby's lives at risk. She was 218 pounds, on bed rest for over a month, and had to undergo an emergency C-section. After the delivery, she spent weeks in the NICU with her newborns. She described it as being in survival mode. She wasn't just giving birth, she was fighting for her family. So when Kanye publicly mocked that experience, mocked the children who came out of that trauma, It wasn't just a tasteless tweet. It was an attack on the most painful, sacred part of her life. And now, the rumors are swirling. Word is Beyoncé isn't letting this go. People close to her say legal action is on the table, that this time she wants accountability, not just for herself, but for her children. She's not tweeting. She's not making statements. She's moving in silence. But make no mistake, she's moving. What's even more disturbing is the way Kanye has tried to justify his behavior. After deleting his original tweets, he posted again, this time clarifying that he only removed the posts about Beyoncé's family and designer Jerry Lorenzo's family because he didn't want his Twitter account suspended. Not because he crossed a moral line, not because he felt guilty, just to protect himself from being flagged. He said it himself, not because I'm a good person. That's what makes this whole thing feel even colder. He knew what he was doing, and he didn't care. Jay-Z and Beyoncé, on the other hand, haven't said a word publicly, but their silence isn't the kind that signals weakness. It's the kind that signals calculation. And according to reports from Page 6, the couple is not letting this one go. They were reportedly shocked and disgusted by Kanye's public meltdown, especially the part where he dragged their children into the mess. Now they're allegedly weighing their options, deciding whether to handle it privately or through the legal system. And let's be honest, if Beyoncé and Jay-Z go legal, it's not going to be quiet. It's going to be a message to anyone who thinks they can get away with attacking their family for clout. They've let a lot of things slide over the years. But this feels different. This feels like the moment they set a precedent. Meanwhile, the internet has been in full meltdown mode. Fans, celebrities, even Kanye's former supporters have had enough. The tweets, the comments, the think pieces. It's been a wave of outrage. People aren't just upset, they're disgusted. One user summed it up perfectly. No matter how you feel about Beyoncé, this is disgusting. It wasn't just the fact that Kanye insulted children. It was that he specifically went after Sir, the child Beyoncé has been the most protective of. For years, fans have speculated about why Sir rarely appears in public, while Blue Ivy has become something of a young icon, performing at shows, attending events, even winning awards. And Rumi has been spotted from time to time. Sir has remained almost completely out of the spotlight. That absence sparked rumors. Some fans thought maybe Beyoncé and Jay-Z were simply being extra careful. Others, more invasive ones, began speculating about Sir's health or development. Unconfirmed rumors even suggested he might have a disability, though there's never been any official word to support that. And to be clear, even if that were true, it would be nobody's business. But that's exactly what made Kanye's comments so reckless. He knows how public speculation works. He knows how dangerous it is to amplify those rumors, especially when they involve a child who can't speak for himself. And yet, he did it anyway. That's not just a cheap shot. That's calculated cruelty. And it hit hard because Beyoncé had already told the world years ago that her pregnancy with the twins was traumatic, that she was swollen with toxemia, that she underwent major surgery, that her organs were shifted during delivery, that she had to heal slowly and painfully, that she spent weeks in a neonatal intensive care unit trying to keep her children alive. And now, after all of that, Kanye decided to throw that back in her face for a few likes? Even Beyoncé's own mother, Tina Knowles, couldn't stay quiet after that. She rarely engages with online speculation, but this time, she stepped in to set the record straight. In a rare interview, Tina described Sir as very smart and low-key. She said he wasn't into the spotlight, unlike his sisters, who enjoy being creative and expressive. Sir, on the other hand, likes numbers. He's quiet, thoughtful, and most of all, private. That one comment said everything we needed to know. Sir isn't missing. He's just not interested in the celebrity circus. And Beyoncé and Jay-Z, being the parents they are simply respecting that. They're giving him the space he asked for, whether the public likes it or not. And here's where the hypocrisy really comes in. Kanye has spent years blasting Kim Kardashian for putting their daughter North in the public eye. He's demanded privacy for his own children. He's called out the media. He's made entire rants about how his daughter deserves a childhood away from the spotlight. But when Beyoncé does the same thing, when she keeps Sir out of the press, he turns it into a conspiracy theory. That's not protecting children. That's weaponizing them. That's the thing about Kanye. He talks about protecting children when it suits him. But when it's someone else's child, especially someone who once cared about him like family, he'll use them as a punchline in his war against the world. And this time, he didn't just offend fans or stir up controversy. He reminded everyone why so many people, friends, brands, even allies, have started to walk away from him. The backlash hasn't been limited to casual internet users. Some of Kanye's own supporters are turning on him. People who once excused his erratic behavior, who defended his free speech, are saying enough is enough, because there's a line you don't cross, and for most people, that line is children. One user wrote, "He called Beyoncé's child the R word and mocked their conception. And you still think this is some misunderstood genius? Number? This is vile." Another added, "He put his own daughter on a track with Diddy, then turns around and attacks another kid? You can't spin that. He's unwell and he needs to be held accountable." And it's not just about accountability in the court of public opinion anymore. If Beyoncé and Jay-Z decide to take legal action, and multiple sources say that's a real possibility, it won't be symbolic. It'll be strategic. Legal experts have already weighed in, saying that if Kanye's comments are proven to be defamatory or emotionally damaging, especially toward minors, there could be real consequences. Even if no lawsuit happens right away, the threat of one could be enough to send a message to Kanye and others like him. Dragging kids into online rants won't be tolerated. This isn't the early 2010s where celebrity feuds were treated like entertainment. These are real lives, real families, real trauma. And here's the part that's really setting fans off. Kanye knows how sensitive this is. He's been on the other side of it. He cried on stage because Jay-Z and Beyoncé wouldn't let their daughter, Blue Ivy, have playdates with North. He said it hurt him, that he felt excluded, that he didn't understand why they were pulling away. But now, he's saying the most unforgivable things about the very same kids, the same ones he once wanted to connect with. What happened to that Kanye? The truth is, this isn't the first time he's burned bridges with people who used to love him. But this time, it feels final. This time, it feels like there's no coming back. And for Beyoncé, who has spent her entire career walking the line between fame and privacy, it's not just betrayal. It's a threat to everything she's built, her image, her family, her values. They've all been targeted in one single moment of ego-fueled chaos. And here's what's wild. Even people who've never liked Beyoncé are taking her side, because this stopped being about celebrity gossip the moment a child was dragged into it. The moment someone used a platform of millions to question the existence and health of a kid who didn't choose the spotlight. Even gossip blogs, usually quick to jump on juicy drama, are handling this story carefully. TMZ, for once, didn't rush to make jokes or pick a side. They reported it straight, acknowledging how serious and offensive the comments were. Other platforms followed suit. No punchlines, no memes, just stunned silence, because no one expected Kanye to go that far. And that's what makes Beyoncé's rumored response so terrifying. For him, this isn't going to be a social media spat. It's not going to be a diss track. It's going to be a calculated move. Beyoncé doesn't move impulsively. She doesn't post and delete. She plans. And if she's planning something, it's going to be effective. Some fans believe she's already taken the first steps behind the scenes. Meetings with her legal team, quiet conversations with her inner circle. Even Jay-Z, who's known for being the more vocal one in business moves, has reportedly gone quiet on the matter, which, if you know him, means something serious is happening. If and when it happens, it won't just be about Kanye. It'll be about setting a boundary for everyone who thinks celebrity kids are fair game. The more you look at this, the clearer it becomes. This isn't just Beyoncé protecting her family. It's a warning to everyone watching. A reminder that just because someone stays silent doesn't mean they're weak. Sometimes, silence is just the sound of a strategy loading. And Beyoncé's strategy? It's long overdue. For years, she's been the blueprint for handling fame with grace. She doesn't rant. She doesn't clap back. She lets her work speak for itself. But letting her children become targets? That's not something she'll ignore. If Kanye thought she'd just take it like all the other jabs, he miscalculated. Badly. Because here's what happens when Beyoncé takes control. Things shift. Quietly. Powerfully. Permanently. And it's already happening. Brands that once collaborated with Kanye are distancing themselves again. Public sentiment, even from those who once begged for the old Ye, is fading fast. And meanwhile, Beyoncé, she's getting support from places people didn't expect. People who usually stay out of celebrity drama are stepping up, calling the attack on her family out for what it is: cruel, intentional, and unacceptable. Even inside the industry, there's a noticeable shift. Executives, producers, and publicists are watching closely, because if Beyoncé goes legal and wins, or even if she just draws the line publicly, It could change how these types of attacks are handled across the board. Think about it. What happens if a judge agrees that tweets like Kanye's, aimed at children, cross into legally actionable territory? What happens if defamation, even under the umbrella of opinion, gets redefined when minors are involved? That's bigger than one feud. That's precedent. That's industry-wide change. And Kanye? He might be the first to feel the full weight of it. But let's zoom out for a second. Because this isn't just about tweets or tabloids. It's about what happens when a man spiraling out of control tries to drag everyone else down with him. About what happens when power, fame, and ego collide, and someone finally decides not to let it slide. Kanye's entire brand has become built on controversy. He burns bridges, then live streams the fire. But now he's learning something painful. Not every target stays quiet. Not everyone he offends just fades away. Some people wait, and when they move smart. That's Beyoncé right now. She's not retaliating for clicks. She's not reacting for headlines. She's responding in a way that sends a message without ever needing to raise her voice. And here's the truth. This moment could define the next phase of her legacy. She's already proven she can dominate the music world. She's built an empire off of discipline, intention, and excellence. But if she takes a stand now, not just as a performer or a businesswoman, but as a mother defending her children, she levels up again. She becomes untouchable, not just respected and feared. And Kanye? He becomes the cautionary tale, the example of what happens when you forget that not everything is a punchline, that not everyone will tolerate being used as content. Because in the end, this isn't just about Beyoncé ending Kanye's career. It's about her protecting what matters most and reminding the world that some lines, once crossed, don't come with a way back. And if this really is the end of Kanye's relevance in the culture, this might be the moment people look back on and say, that's when it all finally collapsed. Not because of an album flop, not because of a bad business deal, but because he forgot the one rule every powerful figure eventually learns: mess with the wrong person, and there's no undoing it. Because Beyoncé isn't just a pop star. She's a cultural force, a mother, a business mogul, a woman with the reach, resources, and resilience to fight back in ways that don't look flashy, but land harder than anything Kanye could ever tweet. She doesn't need to scream to make headlines. She is the headline. And now, that headline is clear. She's done playing nice. The irony of it all? Kanye once begged to be taken seriously, to be seen as a genius, as a misunderstood visionary. And yet, in trying to prove his power, he's made himself smaller with every attack. This last one, dragging innocent children into his unraveling circus, may have finally done what no scandal, lawsuit, or backlash ever could: shut him out completely. And for what? A few days of viral attention? A handful of retweets from trolls who thrive on cruelty? It's a bad trade, one that not even Kanye can spin into redemption. Meanwhile, Beyoncé doesn't have to lift a finger to win public opinion. Her silence alone speaks louder than his entire meltdown. Her dignity has always been her shield, and now, her strategy. And as for Sir Carter, he doesn't need to appear on red carpets or stages to matter. He doesn't need fame to have value. His worth isn't measured in appearances. It's measured in the love and protection of a family that refuses to let him be exploited. If there's one thing Beyoncé has made clear without ever saying a word, it's this: her children are off limits, and if you cross that line, there will be consequences. Kanye West has finally run out of excuses, out of defenders, out of goodwill. And Beyoncé? She's just getting started. So what's next for Kanye? Probably more noise, more spirals, more people quietly stepping away while pretending they were never close. And what's next for Beyoncé? Whatever she wants, because while Kanye's burning bridges, she's building legacies. If you made it this far, you already know this story isn't over, not by a long shot. And when the next chapter drops, we'll be right here, breaking it down. So don't forget to like and subscribe.